What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. I am the Poetic Killer, and in today's video, we're going to be reading a poem called Constructed Reality and the Throne of Greatness. So, we're going to start off with Constructed Reality, break it down. So, let's get to it. Birds singing with, sorry, birds singing while the wind whispers, sun shining through the reflective mirrors, strangers carrying on to their next destination. When there is silence, there is space for imagination. Wholeness arrives when the heart is content. Replaying traumatic events mentally can create torment. Creating the ability to be stable no matter the weather will prove useful when when you place all your abilities together, and that is constructed reality. Now it says, birds singing while the wind whispers, sun shining through the reflective mirrors. So this was a poem that I wrote just observing society. I must have been on the train when I wrote this, and I was just observing society and people what they were doing, and just nature and things like that. And that's what inspired me to write that. But yeah, just the birds singing in the while the wind whispers, because birds navigate through the air based on the wind. So the wind is what navigates them through existence. So they actually follow a different plane of existence, or follow a whole different traffic law, but universal traffic law. We, I guess, well, humans in society, they use the humanistic laws when you're traveling on the road. But with birds, they use a different type of law, which is the wind. So they flow with the wind. That's what navigates them through existence from one position to another. And then it says sun shining through the reflective mirrors. So just like mirror is a condensed version of water, the sun is reflecting of that. The sun is shining through it. It's going through it. Just like if you're at the beach, you see the sun that reflects off the water, and you can see the different type of aura or emit of radiation that the sun creates when it's bouncing off the water. So it's the same thing. And then it says, strangers carrying on to their next destinations. When there is silence, there is space for imagination. So that part is just showing how, whenever you're always busy and you're always walking and working, you never have time to sit down and think. So whenever you're outside, you're already doing things, you're already physically doing things, you're already in that situation. But sometimes you need to sit down and reflect and think. And that's when the greatest imagination comes through. Your imagination doesn't really come through when you're busy, occupied by things that are, you know, already things that you have to do, like responsibilities and things that you have to maintain. But when you sit down and you relax and you go within yourself, that is when the greatest imagination comes through, right? Because you even see with the people that wrote these religious texts like the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, and things like that, or Buddhism and Hinduism, they weren't doing things based on responsibility. They had to sit down and receive the vision from the universe, receive the vision from God, get that vision from within themselves. So it's very important that you're always doing this. Not saying that you have to sit down all day. You know what I mean? There's time for work, and then there's time for play, and there's time to rest, and there's time to do things. So you have to always balance things out. You don't always want to use your mind and occupy your mind based on just doing things all the time. Sometimes you need to relax your mind too, because your mind is also like a physical body. It's just a mental body. So that also needs to rest, just like you have to rest your physical body also. And that's when you get the greatest imagination. Just like when you're dreaming, you have to rest your mind for you to dream. And then it says, wholeness arrives when the heart is content. Replaying traumatic events mentally can create torment. So wholeness arrives when you're eventually relaxed. That's when you feel whole. When your heart doesn't feel like it's desiring things outside of you, you don't feel like you're lacking. The more you feel like you're lacking, you will never really be whole. You never feel fulfilled. You always feel like you need more. You need to take things from other people that isn't really yours. You need to take things that you never worked for. That's why it's very important that we're doing the work. And once you do the work and you're actually content with your life and you're happy with your life, then you will never feel the need to seek outside sources and outside validations in whatever you're doing. And then it says replaying traumatic events mentally can create torment. So you're giving that energy, you're giving that traumatic event energy, so it never leaves. You're always giving it birth, because birth has to do with the feminine energy. So you're always giving it life. Sorry, I'm sorry, no, no, bro. Life has to do with the feminine energy. So you're always giving it life. You're always giving it energy. And as long as you give it energy, it's always going to be alive. But when you stop giving that event or that experience energy, eventually it will die out. Same thing with people. The more you give toxic people energy, the more they're going to be relevant in your life or mentally. But the more you ignore these people, the more eventually they're going to die out and fade out, and you won't even remember them. So it's the same situation. And then it says, creating the ability to be stable no matter the weather will prove useful when you place all your abilities together. So it's very important that you're creating the ability. You're always finding yourself. You're always finding who you are, and you're always loving yourself. Even when people try to make fun of you, you can laugh with them. Actually, the more you laugh when people make fun of you, the more you're actually canceling out whatever ill intent that they're trying to get at you. The more you try to get emotionally tied to what they're saying, the more that they're actually winning and they're draining your energy. So it's very important that you're very intelligent and you're aware of these things, because you, at the end of the day, you know who you are, and you know what you need to work on and what you love about yourself. So the more you love things about yourself, even your flaws and your great abilities, and you're loving both perspectives of yourself, the more when people try to throw that at you, the more you can smile and laugh, because you know deep down we're all here to love both aspects of ourselves, the flaws and the perfection of who we are. We're both entities, we're both perspectives. You're perfect and flawed. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. And then it says, yeah, creating the ability to be stable no matter the weather will prove useful when you place all your abilities together. So you have to be stable. And the greatest way to be stable is by knowing thyself. The more you don't know thyself, it's easy for you to fall for anything. No, that's why there's a saying, you either stand for something or fall for anything. But what you need to stand on is stand on your truth, stand on who you are as a person. And the more you stand on who you are as a person, and you're 10 toes down, you're 100% sure this is who you are, the more you can actually be stable. And that's where your abilities will start to come, because now your starting point is based on who you are. It's not based on who someone else is. So your starting point will always be things that actually help you. You know what I mean? But if you're always looking outside of yourself for things to actually fulfill within, then your starting point will always come from other people's perspective. And you're always going to be slave to other people's perspectives. So you always want to master who you are so that you can be master of your perspective and master of your abilities. And yeah, guys, that is constructed reality. So for you to construct your reality, you need to construct your mind, because the way you perceive reality is based on your mind. You know, your perspectives is how you receive things, and whatever you receive is what you're going to perceive. So it's very important that you're constructing your mind, you're constructing your vessel, you're constructing who you are as a person, and your actions and reactions based on what truly makes you happy before you try to make other people happy. You have to always make yourself happy first and foremost. So, you guys, that is constructed reality. Now, let's get to the next poem. The next poem is The Throne of Greatness. It is easy to lose yourself when sucked into another individual's timeline. You easily get overwhelmed and overshadowed with no light of your own to shine. As painful as it may be, the truth to elevate, you must separate. Don't run away from the mystery of your pain. Go within and investigate. If the experience brings more pain than happiness, the answer is plain to see. Don't put yourself in a position of feeling disposable like debris. Go through the death and rebirth to be born again to your domain. Maintain a royal posture, and in your throne you shall remain. And that is the throne of greatness. Now it says, it is easy to lose yourself when sucked into another's individual's timeline. You easily get overshadowed with no light of your own to shine. It's the same thing like driving on a lane. You're driving in your lane, someone else is driving in their lane. Once they try to drive into your lane without indicating that that's what they're doing, that's what causes a car crash, right? It's the same thing. If you're trying to merge yourself with someone and you guys are not aligned spiritually, mentally, and physically, then eventually that's going to clash, because now you're trying to merge, just like marriage. You got the ring that binds you together, right? The ring represents an internal ring that binds your soul together. That everything we do physically has an internal spiritual meaning too. So it's the same thing. If you're going to bind yourself with somebody, you have to make sure that this is someone that is having the same passion and vision as you, and you guys are on the same mission, trying to achieve this, whatever you guys are trying to achieve together. But if you try to merge with someone that isn't on the same vision as you, eventually you guys are going to clash because there's different perspective, different ideas, different motivation, and things like that. So it's very important that you're always doing the internal work. That's why you have to do the work within yourself first and foremost, so that you can know, okay, this is somebody that I should align with, or this is somebody that I should dissociate myself from. And then it says, you easily get overshadowed with no light of your own to shine, because yeah, you're not shining your true self now. Now you feel like you have to put yourself in the back burner, or that person has to put themselves in the back burner just to correlate or understand each other. But the more you can actually tap into your energy and know who you are and be unapologetic about who you are, then eventually you're going to attract that person too, which will be more like minded. And you won't have to do the work of always having to put on a mask or create a facade of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, in society, you're not going to agree with everybody. So it's very important that you have good social skills. And the more you have good social skills, is being able to realize that, okay, you don't have to agree with everybody. You know what I'm saying? But you can still be around people. You know what I mean? You don't have to agree with everything, but that doesn't mean that you can't be around people, because then if you don't learn how to be around people, you'll never have an open mind. You know what I'm saying? The more you can understand people's perspective, even if you don't agree with it, the more you can be able to have an expansive mind. You're tapping into energies that is really great. Just like this cosmic womb, you got different animals, different species. If you were to stand next to a lion will rip your head off, right? Because it doesn't agree with your perspective of existence. But that doesn't mean that you cannot accept that a lion has a right to live also and produce and mate and have kids, just like humans have to also do it too. You know what I mean? You don't have to be physically next to that lion, but you still have to respect that that lion has a right to be here, just like you have a right to be here and exist. So that's what I mean by learning how to have different opinions and different perspectives, but still respecting each other at the same time. And then it says, as painful as it may be, the truth is to elevate, you must separate. Don't run away from the mystery of your pain, go within and investigate. So you have to separate to elevate. Okay, separate from one perspective to another to elevate. Separate from one perspective to another to elevate. It's the same thing. You're always separating from your old and outdated form to be something new. That is the existence. That is a form of expansion. That is how you work. Just like your heart is always expanding, you're always breathing. Well, not really breathing, but you're expanding and contracting your vessel. Just like the womb is always expanding and contracting, just like the mother's womb in the child and is in that womb. And your mind is always expanding and contracting, learning new things, new knowledge, new wisdom, new perspective. It's the same thing. Any form of womb is always expanding and contracting. So it's very important that you're tapping into that energy also. And then it says, don't run away from the mystery of your pain. Go within and investigate. So you don't run away, because it's like a clock. It's a cycle. You'll always meet what you created. You'll always meet what you experienced. You'll always meet what you have within your subconscious world. So you can never run away from your subconscious mind. So it's very important that you're healing your subconscious mind. And the more you heal your subconscious mind, the more, when you're actually going through that cycle and that timeline, eventually when you're meeting that starting point and going to the end, it will be something that is actually more conducive to who you are. And that cycle will be more complete. It won't be a cycle that you're always running away from and you always have to come back and fix. It'll be something that is more smoother. It'll be something that is actually more systematic, and it won't be something that is always breaking down, like your mind and your vessel. And then it says, if the experience brings more pain than happiness, the answer is plain to see. Don't pull yourself, don't put yourself in a position of feeling disposable like debris. So it's very important that your experience, you're always judging your experience. Okay, is this bringing me more happiness, or is this bringing me more pain? And if it's bringing you more pain, then you know, okay, what can I do, or how can I think so that the situation does not happen again? So it's very important that you're always, like I said, you're the judge of your experience. You're judging your experiences. You're always looking back and you're observing and you're learning from these experiences, and you're knowing what you need to work on and what you need to keep going and keep being persistent in, because some things work And if it's working, then that's something you need to be more persistent in. If you're happy, then that's something you need to be more persistent in. But if it's bringing you pain, then that's something that you need to dissociate from or do in moderation. And then it says, don't put yourself in a position of feeling disposable like debris. So it's very important that you're around people that uplift you, that gives you life, give you energy that is conducive to who you are. Because if you're around people that actually try to set you back and set you 10 steps backwards, then eventually you're going to feel disposable. You're going to feel like you're not truly who you are or you're not where you need to be. But the more you're standing in your truth and you're standing on who you are and you know thyself, the more you can actually be consistent and you can be sturdy. So whatever tries to push you away will only get, reflected back. And that power and that force that they use to push you away will actually bounce back and hit them. And they'll just be gone out of nowhere, out of sight, out of mind. You know what I'm saying? Out of sight, out of mind, aka they're not relevant anymore. They don't have the energy and the power that they used to have, that they thought that they had to use against you. You're now more of a formidable warrior, a powerful person that knows his or her truth and is standing on his or her truth. And the more you do that, the more you'll be unbreakable. And then it says, go through the death and rebirth to be born again to your domain. Maintain a royal posture, and in your throne you shall remain. So we're all here to be our royal self. We all have our royal self. We all have this crown. Your head is your crown. You know what I'm saying? So this is your crown, and you've put it on to your throne, which is your body, and you're sitting on this throne. So you got your crown, you've crowned yourself, and now you're sitting on your throne, which is your vessel. You're sitting on your experiences too. And now your crown is relaying things to yourself. It's relaying those energies to the rest of the body to make it function so that it can be like a society. And now your body's functioning like a society. It's systematic like a civilization. It's systematic as a well functioned people or society. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that that's what you're doing, and you're tapping into that crown. They say crown chakra, but it's really just your crown energy. And the more you tap into that crown energy, the more you're tapping into your royal posture. You know how you want to correlate yourself. You know how you want to express yourself. That is your royal posture. Your expression, the way you express yourself, is your royal posture, because that is the energy that you're giving off, and people can be able to discern if this is someone that truly knows themselves or is someone that doesn't know anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that you're finding that king and queen energy within yourself. And you're always realizing that everything outside of you is an energy form that comes from within. And the more you can tap into that power that is within yourself, the more you can realize how royal you are as a person. And you don't need physical accolades to tell you that. You know what I mean? You have to tell yourself that that's who you are as a person. And the more you tell yourself that, the more nothing else can actually deflect who you are and can deflect or blind you from that vision that you have created within yourself. So that's why it's very important that you're always listening to that inner voice within you. And then it says, yeah, go through the death and rebirth to be born again to your domain. Maintain a royal posture, and in your throne you shall remain. So the death and rebirth is just a cycle of life. It is how things work. You know what I'm saying? It's just new mentalities to control that crown. Just like you have new kings and queens that come through to control that society or that civilization. It's the same thing. You're always having new mentalities and new emotions that will come in to control that crown, to control your civilization, aka control your vessel. And the more you can do that, the more you can actually elect kings and queens, aka thoughts and feelings that can actually utilize your mind, utilize your vessel, utilize your body to do things and experience things and bring forth a civilization, aka experiences that actually is more uplifting and empowering. And now you can rain down your experiences. Rain, just like you have the rain that comes from the heavens, is the same thing. You're raining down your experiences and your knowledge and wisdom to your vessel so that your experiences and certain scenarios that you're going through will be something that actually uplifts you as that powerful person that you truly are. So, yeah, guys, that is the throne of greatness. You have to find that greatness within yourself. It's never outside of you. The more you look outside of you, the more you always feel lost and you always feel swayed by different opinions and different perspective. And you will never be sturdy and grounded in whatever you're trying to do and achieve and manifest in this life. So yeah, guys, that is the poem for today's video. Hope you guys gained something new. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you soon.